Welcome to the Big Marley Minute on Half the Battle. I'm Daniel Levy, your host, joined now by 9 times DraftKings qualifier Kyle Marley, Big Marley 3. Kyle, how's it going, man?
Hey, good. It's been a long time since we did this. I had to hit you up this week. I've been missing it, so I wanted to get back to it. And here we are. We're going to break down the main card of this UFC Vegas 3. And we got a lot of money on the line for DraftKings, $150,000 to first. Hopefully somebody gets that solo. I obviously hope it's me, but if it's not, hopefully it's you or a listener.
No, absolutely. And, the fans have been dying to hear the Big Marley Minute back in action. And, it's funny. I heard rumors that me and you were beefing and, stuff like that, which is completely not true. Me and you have been cool this entire time. It's been a scheduling conflict. But look, here we are. And let's get right down to business, Kyle, because Alexander Volkov is taking on Curtis Blaydes. And look, Curtis Blaydes is known for going out there. And for the heavyweight division, man, he will set takedown records and he will chain those takedowns. He'll go out there, score many points. And Volkov, you already know the deal with him. He's had some very impressive performances inside the octagon. You try to test your stand-up against the 6'7" Volkov, he can pick you apart. Now, let me ask you this. Obviously, Blaydes is the favorite, but when you're looking at minus 400 at the betting window, when you're looking at 9,400 on DraftKings, I want this guy to go out there and land multiple takedowns. Now, the reason I say that, Kyle, is because he's coming off a knockout win over Junior Dos Santos. And sometimes when these wrestlers get a taste of what it's like to get a knockout victory, they start to fall in love with that power and they start to think that they're a K1 striker or something like that. You think Blaydes is going to change his approach, or can we rely on him to go out there and get those consistent takedowns?
Now, I think he's going to have to go out there and look for takedowns. If he's going to go look to strike with Volkov, then this is going to be a close fight. And Volkov is the better striker, I would say. So that's just not the smartest idea. Blaydes should go in there, look to dominate with his wrestling. And if he could put Volkov on his back, I don't think he's got a lot to worry about. And he can either get a ground and pound finish or just rack up multiple takedowns. But I just love his style for DraftKings. The guy averages more than 6 takedowns per 15 minutes, and we have possible 25 minutes in this fight. So he's the highest priced guy on the board, but he is my favorite play this week. I'm going to be loading up on Blaydes. It's hard to not like him here, and if he does get the win, you got to imagine he's probably going to get 100-plus points. So ton of Blaydes for me, but it is an all-in fight, so I'll have a couple lineups with Volkov just in case he gets the knockout. But I'm probably going to be like 80-20 in favor of Blaydes, something like that, where I really want to be overweight on him. And Volkov, Vegas is giving him about 22% chance of winning. So I feel like that's a good cap on your lineups, about 22% of your lineups.
So in the co-main event, you got Shane Burgos taking on Josh Emmett. And look, on DraftKings, you're looking at 8,700 for Burgos, 7,500 for Emmett. And I think we've broken down this fight all week. I mean, we know Josh Emmett has an 100% knockdown rate at 145, meaning he's knocked down every single opponent he's fought, win or lose, in the featherweight division. And Shane Burgos has the more output. He's the bigger man. He's the more talented fighter. But the caveat is, Kyle, he fights with his hands down. Will that make a difference in this matchup?
It definitely could, but this is one of my favorite fights of the card, especially for DraftKings. I like Burgos to get the job done. I just think he's way better on the feet. It's just that hands-down style could definitely get him caught. When Burgos wins, he scores well, so I feel like 8,700, he's probably going to surpass that 10x in a win here. But if Emmett wins, it's most likely going to be by knockout, and if that happens at 7,500, I feel like he's for sure going to be on the optimal lineup. So I love both sides of this fight, more so Burgos, but Josh Emmett is one of my favorite underdogs for GPPs just because of that boom bust type ceiling that he has with the knockout. If he loses the fight, then it doesn't matter anyways. But if he wins, he could win you $150,000, and that's what I'm targeting this week with underdogs. There's underdogs I like to win more, but I think he scores higher than those underdogs would.
There's fights where I like to take both sides, and this is one of them. However, Kyle, I'm not going to be stacking a fight like this. I don't think both sides are going to score high. I think it's going to be either. I think it's going to be the winning side that scores high on this one. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Whoever wins is going to be the one scoring high. I'm not stacking this fight at all. It's just I'm targeting both sides because I want the winner and hopefully a lineup that I have the combination of all 6 correct. I will have more Burgos, but it's hard to not be taking some Emmett shots if you're making multiple lineups.
So look, Marion Reneau is taking on Raquel Pennington, and I have a feeling that we're not going to have too much ownership on a fight like this. But that being said, Marion has been able to score some submissions, here and there. And even you remember Raquel Pennington with that bulldog choke against Ashley Evans Smith. So from time to time, when you're expecting a close split decision, that's a low scoring fight, these ladies will surprise you and go out there and finish their opponents. Now, in the case that happens, are you looking for minimal ownership on either side?
Yeah, I don't really care for this fight at all. All purposes, DraftKings, watching, all of it. I wouldn't care if we even lost this fight, to be honest. But I just don't see either one of these ladies scoring high in a win. I mean, they only have 3 rounds to work with. Vegas has it, I think, minus 285 to go to a and neither one of them fights at a high enough pace to really score well in a decision. My preferred play is Reneau, just because it's going to be easier to have her pay off a $7,400 price tag than it will be Rocky paying off her $8,800 price tag. But this is a fight that I really have no interest in. If I was making, 10 or less lineups, I would avoid it completely. I'm not taking shots on either side here.
So this one, we might feel a little bit opposite in terms of our approach, because Belal Muhammad's taking on Lyman Good. And I see a lot of upside for the winning side in this fight because, look, Lyman Good, all his UFC win, Kyles, are via devastating knockout. When this guy wins fights, there's a good chance he's going to be on the optimal lineup. But like you always told me, in DraftKings, it's about takedowns and knockout artists. And on the flip side of the knockout artist, you got the takedown machine in Belal Muhammad. And he doesn't actually have a reputation of being a takedown machine, because when you say a word like that or a phrase like that, you think about guys like Merab. But when you look at the numbers, Belal has scored 19 takedowns in his UFC career. And I'm pretty damn confident he's going to look to add to that total here. And if he's able to be successful doing so, I mean, look, I know historically speaking, he's only scored, somewhere around the 80-plus points range. But takedowns count for something in this game. And you just saw him get his first submission win in the last one, Kyle.
Yeah, I like Belal to get the win here. But what I don't like is his $8,900 price tag. He just got his first submission win, and he only scored 86 points in that fight. And usually he only scores 82 points in a win. So if he gets in the 80s at his $8,900 price tag, I just don't think that's going to win us $150,000. And that's my ultimate goal every week, is just to hit that big prize. So my preferred play here is actually Good on DraftKings, because this is close to a pick'em betting line, but on DraftKings, Good is only 7,300 compared to Bilal's 8,900. And if Good wins, I think there's a good chance that it's, round 1 with a knockout or round 2 with a knockout. And that's going to score very highly at 7,300. He would be on the nuts if that happens. So my preferred play here is Good, even though I'm picking Muhammad to get the win. I just like the ceiling and price tag more on the Good side.
And last but not least, another very exciting fight, because you got Roosevelt Roberts taking on Jim Miller. And look, when Jim Miller wins fights, at least in the last few years, it's always been a first-round finish. So at, 7,000, with that price tag, if he comes out here and chokes out Roosevelt Roberts in the first round, he is for sure going to cover that. But on the flip side, Roosevelt Roberts, he's got the length, he's got that youthful energy about him, and he's been fighting back to back to back. So the guy's getting in there, he's getting seasoned, he's getting experience. So is this one where you want exposure to both sides as well?
So yeah, I think this is another one where highly. So I think he does make for a good play. I just am not a Miller believer. So I would rather take shots on the other guys like Good and Emmett, just because I think they have a better shot of winning. And Roberts has here, I don't know if he's going to get more than 10x of a 9.2K salary. So I don't really care for this fight too much. But my preferred play is Roberts. I just think he's going to be the better fighter everywhere. He's the bigger, longer guy. And it seems like Miller's a one-rounder bust type of guy at this point in his career. So I don't want to tell you to not play Miller, because he could definitely be the path to $150,000. He's burned me on multiple occasions being the underdog and going out there and winning in round 1. It could happen again here. I'm just going to take my shots elsewhere, because I think he'll have a decent amount of ownership, like around 20% or so. And I would rather get my leverage elsewhere, whether that be Good, Emmett, or another underdog who has 100-plus point potential.
Well, Kyle, that's why you are the DraftKings guy for half the battle. I'm very happy we were able to knock out the Big Marley Minute. I know the fans are too. They can follow you at Big Marley 3. Your bets and your write-ups are available at bestfightpicks.com.
Yes, sir. Got over 15,000 words in the write-up. It's only $7.99, and I have 4 bets this week that I'm feeling pretty good about. I'm hoping to go 4-0. So hop over there, tail these plays. Let's make some money.
Let's cash these bets, Kyle.